You think you can't have an impact? Well, think again. We are much more powerful than what we allow ourselves to believe. You are much more powerful than what you allow yourself to believe. You can achieve the impossible if you only really believe it. My mission is to inspire 100 million people to take individual and collective action for ocean sustainability. I started with a much smaller objective to inspire 1 million people, and I produced a TEDx event on ocean sustainability. I didn't know if I would have succeeded. I didn't know what steps I should take. I had no speakers at hand, no venue, no sponsors, and barely no time. But somehow, I knew I would make it happen. And I did. Because, the most important thing is to have a very clear objective in your heart and listen to your intuition about which is going to be your next step. Not that I didn't have my fair share of failures, among which losing most of the event recordings. But I found 7 fantastic speakers with whom it's been a pleasure to work. We also managed to recover some video content to publish 5 videos that in a couple of months collected more than 100,000 views on the TEDx channel. And I managed all of this because at every single moment, at any temporary defeat, I had absolutely clear in my mind the final objective. So we can have an impact, which goes beyond our immediate actions. The question is, do we really care? Do we really feel the pain? In talking about sustainability, do we really understand that our life as we love it is in peril? 1.5 degrees Celsius is just a number, not particularly scary. And besides, why alienate the millions of people who speak Fahrenheit and don't understand Celsius? It's about 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit, by the way. But what it means for the planet is huge. Entire ecosystems collapsing, coastal areas becoming inhabitable, wildfires burning our backyards, powerful storms, hurricanes displacing millions, and on and on. Where's the issue then? It's easier to turn a blind eye to an incumbent disaster if looking at it would mean giving up our comfortable life. That's why the developed countries are the most resilient to the message, while being the primary cause of the disaster. What? Me? Giving up on air conditioning and my powerful SUV? Okay, so much for self-flagellation. What can I do? An amazing movement is appearing all across the world, taking action to avert the disaster. But most importantly, to get more attuned to nature and life. What happens when a scientist who helped launch satellites realizes the impact we are having on the world? Joshua Spodek, PhD, hasn't been flying since 2016, and he's enjoying it. He produces 1 bag of garbage every 2 years. His electricity bill is less than $2 per month. His impact on the planet is 90% lower than the average American. Would you guess that he is living miserably? Well, you'd be wrong. He enjoys every single moment of his life, and he's able to appreciate so much more of it than before converting to a sustainable life. He's got a great podcast at joshuaspodek.com, which is growing exponentially. And there you can learn from him how you can have a massive positive impact on sustainability. My suggestions: 7 letters. 1. A for acknowledge. Recognize that we have a problem rather than hiding behind excuses that individually we can't have an impact. 2. R for reduce. Reduce consumption. Full stop. Do you really need all the stuff that you buy? We are trained to respond to our fears of being inadequate by buying more and more. But do we really need it? And most importantly, do we need to buy and consume, as in discard immediately thereafter? Which leads up to the next step. 3. R for reuse. Use your stuff as much as you can. Then give it a new lease of life by donating it to a charity so that it can be used again. Or even more radical, do what I do. Most of my clothes, apart from my underwear, are from charity shops. Not because I'm poor and can't afford to buy new, but because I don't want to consume clothes. I want to use them. 4. R for recycle. When I got here in the UK, I was so proud I was collecting all the plastic from my purchases and recycled it. That was a couple of big bags per week. Now I feel ashamed at all the plastic that we consume in the name of practicality. What about buying fresh fruit and vegetables instead, in season from local producers? So not only recycle, but avoid plastic altogether. And finally, the elephant in the room. 5. R for repudiate. Repudiate what? Fossil fuels, obviously. Avoid as hell. In one way or another, they are the main cause of global warming. Do you really need your fossil fuel car? And 2 cars? And 3 cars? Can you avoid taking the car and use public transportation instead? Can you walk or cycle? Or at least use an electric car? Can you avoid flying to go places? 6. G for go for it. Better taking some action now than any. Start small and then do more and more. And finally, 7. H for hundredfold. Find ways to multiply your action 100-fold through your networks, friends and family. A, R, 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 G, H. ARG! Go for the pirate way and change the world. Thank you.